all around the world. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular council meeting for Monday, June 22nd. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:30. Town of Elk Point respectfully acknowledges we are located on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional and ancestral lands of First Nations and Métis people, and we honor their enduring traditions, wisdom, and cultural strength in our community. So with that, tonight, kicking off our meeting, we do have a delegation. We have the Executive Director, Kathy Lost from Age Friendly Cold Lake. So welcome, Kathy. Thank you for joining us. And I will let you take it away.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to apologize for missing last month's meeting. I don't know why. I put it down for the 9th instead of the 8th. So my apologies for that. So yeah, everybody's had a chance to look over the package. A little bit about Age Friendly Cold Lake and where we started, just to kick things off, is that in 2019, there was about 5 of us that sat around the table at FCSS and said, we think that we can do better for our seniors in Cold Lake. And we started applying for grants, and we were awarded an age-friendly grant, which was quite significant. And then shortly after that, COVID hit. So we got a very nice food security grant for seniors to the tune of $250,000. So what we did with that grant is created a food program where people, based on their income, would get meals at half price of what we were getting them for, or no money at all, based on what their income was, because we didn't want anybody to go without food during COVID. Now, what happened was we would have people come in and they would say, I need to get to Edmonton for a doctor's appointment, and I just don't know how I'm going to get there. So we phoned all around Cold Lake, we phoned all around Bonnyville, and there was nobody that could provide that service for them. So we started a transportation program. Same thing happened with housekeeping. I just got out of the hospital. I'm not able to really move around. I'm supposed to be in bed rest. I can't clean my house. So again, we sort of went around the community and we found housekeepers, but they were like $50, $45 an hour. And the seniors that we really catered to just couldn't afford that kind of money. So we started a housekeeping program. So all of our programs that we have developed have come out of a need that they can't find anywhere else in the community. So we feel very proud of what we've accomplished in 6 years. We now have 164 active clients with 1 link worker. We just hired an admin assistant because our admin and myself are overrun. So we've brought on an admin assistant. And we have a volunteer coordinator, and everything else that we do is based on volunteers. So our background with volunteers is we have a NavCare training program, which is now an international program. It's only 7 modules, but the first 6 talk about palliative care, and the 4th one talks about dementia. So they're not experts. We don't provide medical care, but it gives them enough basic knowledge on what to look for, what signs of need that they may be having. And they range anywhere from just going out and having a little friendly visit with a cup of coffee, or taking somebody out for an ice cream cone or something along those lines, to being really heavily involved in their lives. Like, we have one gentleman who's late stage dementia. His family doesn't want anything to do with him. They live in New Brunswick. So they've given permission. He's not power of attorney, but they have given permission to this navigator who's been working with this gentleman now for 3 years, permission to have access to his bank account to make sure that his bills are paid, that he's got food, that he's got clothes, that he's got a little bit of spending money in his pocket. And then he takes them out everywhere he goes. So it's really a broad range of, and again, that's based on need.
And that's as a volunteer.
And that's as a volunteer. Yeah. And he's heavily involved in this man's life. And we have a few that are like that. So that's really kind of where we started. A couple of years ago, we sat down and we thought, it's time that we go to rewrite our mission and our vision statement. And based on the clientele that we're serving, our mission is that we support underserved seniors in Cold Lake and the surrounding area with practical, compassionate services that foster independence, dignity, and connection through every stage of aging. And then again, our vision is we envision a future where underserved seniors are not left behind, Age Friendly is recognized as a trusted resource for seniors and caregivers for reducing barriers, filling service gaps, and improving quality of life through every stage of aging, including end of life. And when we say end of life, we have one person on staff and one volunteer who are certified end of life doulas. So if we have somebody who is in the palliative care room in the hospital and they have no family, they have no community support, we stay with them during that end of life stage, and we're with them right until they take their last breath. If we have family who are involved in their lives, sorry, and then we also work with the family because it's a very, if any of you have been with loved ones that have passed, you just know how emotional that it really is. So we're there to support them as well too. So end of life is very much a part of who we are. Over the last 6 years, and well, I would say over the last 4 years, we've had a significant number of people because we operate on grants. Grants, we have to do reporting, so we've had a lot of community of practices for each grant where we're on a community of practice. So between fund development and meetings, that pretty much consumes my time. But through them, we've had the benefit of speaking to people right across the country. And it's been absolutely amazing with the amount of people that have contacted us saying, how did you do this? Can you send me like some bylaws? Can you send me documents? Like, can I call you anytime in the process? So I'm now keeping track of all of the calls that we get for mentorship because we're getting them from all across the country. So we really are precedent setting in how we're looking after the aged in our communities. So what we offer, so Age Friendly established infrastructure, and I'm reading this only because you are online and I'd like your people to be able, in the community, to be able to hear this as well too. So I know you guys have all read it, but they haven't. So what we offer, so Age Friendly is established infrastructure, governance, and operational systems, experienced staff and trained volunteers, strong community partnerships across health, social services, and nonprofits. They have a transportation system and scheduling process, access to federal, provincial, and municipal grants for registered charities, and a proven program models already functioning successfully in Cold Lake. And I think it's really important that we talk about the access to federal, provincial, and municipal grants, because as it is right now, we're all competing for the same dollars in all of our municipalities. I think it just makes more sense to have one umbrella organization, and we service all communities in the Lakeland region. So that's sort of the direction that we're trying to go so that there's continuity of service and all of our seniors can have a bit better quality of life. So what are the benefits? So municipalities benefit from cost-effective, non-duplicated service delivery. Municipalities gain a single coordinated service provider instead of fragmented or duplicated efforts. Seniors receive more equitable access to services regardless of income or location. Seniors across the region maintain independence longer, reducing the strain on the medical system. And the one that I can address for that is the transportation program, because it is statistically proven that if a doctor sends a senior to the city for care from a specialist, it's because they don't know what to do. If those seniors don't make those medical appointments, they start to decline. And with decline comes isolation, comes increased health problems, comes more hospitalizations, more emergency room visits, more doctor's visits, and early death. So it's a simple thing like transportation is actually protecting and giving longevity of life. So it's really, really important. So clearer pathways for seniors to access services and reduce caregiver burnout across communities, because caregivers are an essential part of senior care. And it can quite easily end up being a burnout situation or elder abuse in the forms of either neglect or just not having the patience to deal with it anymore because it's exhausting. So it's just a way to be able to protect our caregivers. And right now, my main focus, the team is now working on the seniors, and my main focus is making sure that the caregivers are taken care of. So who do we work with? Well, you can see the list here, Cold Lake Healthcare Center, Cold Lake and District FCSS. We're now in a collaboration with the Bonnyville Healthcare Center. So I'll talk to you about that in a minute. The Bonnyville FCSS for referral pathways, Assisted Living Alberta for Home Care, the Alzheimer's Society, Assisted Living Alberta with their social workers, the Cold Lake Lodge doctors, PCNs, nurse practitioners, long-term care, nurses in the emergency room and acute care. We do a lot on acute care. Points West Living, Health Canada, Cold Lake Community Church is one of our biggest partners. Caregivers Alberta, NavCare was the training program that I just spoke to you about. Stepping Stones Crisis Center with their new big, beautiful building in Cold Lake. They have now an area for seniors. So if we have had situations of abuse, and we now have a place where we can comfortably put them as well too. The Dragonfly Center for Sexual Abuse, the RCMP in Cold Lake. We have not yet worked with the RCMP in Bonnyville, but they have reached out to us to ask what services we have and how can they benefit from them. So I do have a grant out there right now with the, I always get this name wrong, the Alberta Elder Abuse Awareness Council. And if we're successful with that grant, and we'll find that out in a couple of days, we're going to have a safety coordinator for elder abuse in Cold Lake, and that person will also service Bonnyville. So where do we go with all of this? Well, we can't live on grants alone, for one. And for two, we can't move into other municipalities and operate on our current budget. It's just not a practicality. However, that doesn't mean that there aren't seniors that need the services in the other municipalities. So how can we go about that? And I described that in our sustainability plan. All levels of sponsorship, regardless of what they are, get a fair amount of recognition throughout the year, naming rights to some of our programs. An example is we just had high tea on Friday. It was our first, and we're definitely going to make it an annual. It was a major success. If you take a look at our Facebook page, you can see some of the pictures, and I really didn't take very good pictures. I was just so involved in talking to the seniors, and I looked at the pictures when I went to post it, and I went, "Oh, Kathy, you could have done so much better." But anyway, there are some great pictures on there, and yeah, we're going to do that again every year. So, you know, if somebody can name that next year, that could be the Elk Point high tea, or sponsored by Elk Point. It could be sponsored by Synovus. It could be, and then we have a day program which is really designed for respite care for seniors. It's 5 hours a week, 4 locations. There's 3 in Cold Lake, 1 in Bonnyville. And that program is called Hope Harbor. So caregivers can actually come and drop their loved one off, or they can just take off and go and do whatever they need to do, or they're more than welcome to stay with us. What happens is they stay with us for the first 2 or 3 times because it's a level of trust that has to be built, and they have to see what's going on and how their person is being taken care of. And after the second, third time, they just go and they just leave them with us. So in Cold Lake, in the Cold Lake Community Church, for both, we have 21 people attending. In Points West, in a care facility in Cold Lake, we have 18 that attend regularly. And we're just getting Bonnyville going. And tomorrow there is 12 scheduled to be there from extended care. So yeah. So it's a really, really worthwhile program. We start the morning with fruit or muffins or whatever, and just, how are you doing? And just a check-in kind of a thing. And then we start with very gentle exercises. Then we do brain healthy games. And then we have a stop and have a beautiful lunch. And then in the afternoon is recreation. That recreation changes every week. So it can be painting, it can be an artist. We have musicians coming in next week. And what are we doing the week after that? Oh, the museum has now got an online version of the whole museum. So they're going to go through the whole museum because they can't walk. It is far too large. Yep. But they can go now through the whole museum. If they were going to do that the following week. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, so we do all kinds of different things. So one of the things that we're really looking for, now this is sponsorship packages for anybody and everybody. But if you look in the sustainability plan, really what we're looking for municipal support is 50,000 from each municipality for 3 years. And that hopefully will have us into a position where we can have sustainability and we'll be able to continue to provide service. So that's really what we're looking for. There's also the community impact report, and we're just coming out with a brand new one. It should be finished tomorrow. Kendra, I can send it to you if you want, because the numbers will change obviously significantly. But this just really goes through and it shows what our values are. But I think what's really important is when you look at the financial overview for 2025, you can see that the majority of our funding comes from provincial grants and our ice fishing tournament. I don't know whether you've heard of our ice fishing tournament or not, but it's very, very successful. And this year we were granted an extra 100 anglers. So we're really excited about that. But those two things are where the majority of our grant comes from. And you can see the amount of work that we do in the communities, we get very, very small municipal participation. So we had a conversation with all levels of government, because what I hear sometimes is, and I understand that municipal is responsible for certain things, so is provincial, and then so federal. This doesn't necessarily fall into provincial, but when I ask municipalities, they say, no, that's a provincial program. I talk to provincial and they say, no, that's a federal program. I talk to federal and they say, no, that's a municipal program.
Nobody wants to help.
Nobody wants to take responsibility for it. Meanwhile, we've got seniors that are falling through the cracks and dying. You know, there seems to be all kinds of programs for youth. There seems to be all kinds of programs for young adults. But when it comes to seniors, there's really very little that comes out of municipalities. So, and then it's got the numbers here. Now, again, these are last year's numbers. So these have increased obviously significantly. So incoming referrals. So that's from clinics, doctors, nurses, all of that. Outgoing referrals. My outgoing referrals are always Caregivers Alberta, the Alzheimer's Society, the Food Bank, the Crisis Center, FCSS for the income tax program. Because a lot of times some of the low income is occurring because they're not aware of all of the benefits that they're really entitled to. So when they go to FCSS, they get hooked up and it's a really valuable program. You can see our volunteer hours, like 6,492 hours. Like that's a significant amount of hours that our volunteers are putting in. And I think this year alone, we're already, since January, we're already up to 3,000 and something. So huge. Our frozen food program. Now that's one program that we're also, so 4 programs are going into Bonnyville right now. That's our caregiver support program, our Hope Harbor Day program, our food program. Did I say Hope Harbor? So we have 4 programs right now occurring in Bonnyville. That's that was our initial expansion, and in collaboration with Covenant Health and the Bonnyville Health Center. So we also do light housekeeping. Oh, sorry, let's go over here. So for the food program, and that's why I was here a little bit early, because I had to drop orders off in Bonnyville on my way here, and I had to get their senior center before 4 o'clock. So I said, I'm not going back to Tacoma. I'm just going to keep right on going. Our local transportation, that is also something that's really, really important, because again, it's just getting people not necessarily just to their appointments, but to grocery shopping, banking, all of our social programs. So local is really important as well too. Out of town, we've already discussed that one. We do a Feast of Friendship luncheon every month, and that's the last Monday of every month. We started out at FCSS with 18 seniors. We're now feeding 110. So, and these are either our clients, people who have been referred to us, or people that we know that are low income. So, and sometimes it's not always just the low income. Sometimes it's somebody that just needs a little bit of extra support. Their husband's passed away or their wife has passed away. And, you know, our men's shed, we did cooking classes for our men because their wives had either passed away or they were in late stage or on the journey of dementia somewhere, and they couldn't cook anymore. They couldn't look after the home anymore. They couldn't pay the bills anymore. And this was all new to the men. They had no idea. So one of them didn't even know how to turn the stove on. So
I gotta start somewhere.
yeah, exactly. So we did cooking classes, basic meals that they could make, like meatloaf, like just easy things that they could make to keep the home running and to keep that person at home if they were in that dementia journey. Lighthouse keeping, again, that's so the food program, the transportation program, lighthouse keeping. geared to income. So we use the same financial thresholds that Alberta Seniors Benefit uses. So how that works with the transportation program, if you use long distance, for example, that trip is $300. However, based on income, I would say at least 90% of the clients that we have pay 50. So, because they're living on their pensions, you know, so, and that's most of the people that we work with. Out of town transportation, that's $8 a trip, but it's not a taxi service. It's a social program because they don't just drop them off at Walmart and pick them up later. They go in shopping with them. They reach for the high groceries that they can't reach. They help bag them. They carry them into the house and they put them away. So it's very much a social program and not a taxi service. We talked about the luncheon, the light housekeeping again, it was $25 an hour. They pay as little as $6, and most of them pay $6 or $12 is where most of them fit into that one. Mines in Motion has now changed. That is Hope Harbor. That's a free program. Everything is being funded right now, but it's not going to be funded in the future. So that's one of the things that we're wanting to create sustainability for. Cycling Without Age. This is our Trishaw program, and you can see a picture of that at the very front, I think. So this is the Trishaw. It looks like a rickshaw, only backwards. So two seniors or a senior and a loved one get to go out for a ride and cruise around on a bike that's got a battery so that you can. We did a big thing on Friday and he was explaining that there's been 2 trips that he's had where the battery has run out and he had to go uphill. Thank goodness he's in excellent shape. Yeah, and then the Cold Lake Men's Shed. We've got a great men's shed. It's just fabulous. So they come in and they make either community projects, like they've done things for the Hearts to Healthcare Gala. Last year they did the Bonnieville Gala. I don't know if any of you went to it, but that big arch for Willy Wonka that you had to walk through to get in, the guys made that. Yeah, it's just sometimes they don't pick up tools. Sometimes they just sit around this great big table and they just have coffee and talk. And I have storyboards made up now. And one fella, when I was still at FCSS, which was several years ago now, but I did a grief counseling program there, and his son had committed suicide. And I know the proper term now is completed suicide. But I use his words, and his words were his son had committed suicide and he found him. We did counseling for probably 3 years. He couldn't say the word suicide. He just couldn't say it. And now when I did his storyboard last month, first words, I came to the men's shed because my son committed suicide and I needed to be with other men. I needed to be with people who could listen to me. I needed just to be around other men. So he's come so far and that's because of the men's shed. That's because of the men's shed. He's been able to really start to make peace. He'll never get over it. But he can start to make some peace, and that's 100% because of the men's shed. Our end of life companionship, we talked about that one. Our community and client impacts. So because we're funded through Healthy Aging Alberta, we go through Health primarily. They've been supporting us for 4 years and in a significant way. So we try to align with their outcomes so that we're definitely reaching the goals that we need to reach. So, you know, we focus on brain health, caregiver support, emotional well-being, mental health and wellness. Food and nutrition is huge. It's a big one. Home supports, social support services, transportation, resiliency, social interaction and connection, which is also really huge for us, and physical health and wellness. So then we've just got on the last couple of pages, some volunteer navigator testimonials, why they do it, what they get out of doing it. And then we've got some client testimonials. I did suggest for this year that we only do 4 so that the writing can be larger and it's a little bit easier to read. But I hope you have better eyes than I do. But you can read what some of the clients are actually saying about our services. So, our Our community sponsors, now most of these sponsors, in all honesty, are our fishing tournament sponsors. But our fishing tournament last year it was 91,000 that we ended up clearing from that. So and we're hoping for a little bit more this year, but that's what keeps our doors open. That pays the WCB, the insurance, the utility bills. We don't have to pay rent. Our landlord has graciously given us our space debt free. But everything that keeps our doors open is what that pays for. And because our year end is in March, our tournament is in February, it pays the year before its bills. So we're always kind of in a catch up mode, but we're hoping that that's going to stop too. And then our events, so our annual ice fishing tournament, our community awareness events, our annual seniors barbecue, which we do every year. And this year we'll be putting in obviously the high tea because it was just a smashing success and we will definitely do it again. You can see in the sustainability plan, so it's got all the information that you really need. But if you look at the budget, which is on page 12, you can see that a lot of the responsibility still falls on Age Friendly Cold Lake between grants and sponsorships, excuse me, and our fundraising. So we do have a little bit of a social enterprise. I'm not sure whether you've heard of it or not, but it's the Blue Cross program, which is a client-directed care invoicing program. So what happens with that is a home care worker would go in and say, my client needs extra help, extra support. So they send an assessment off to, it's a RI assessment. It takes about 2.5 hours to complete. Very, very intensive. They send that off to Blue Cross. Blue Cross says, yes, we will approve this. And they can have, and these are just examples, they can have 100 hours for respite care. They can have 50 hours for personal care. And then the other things that they look after is meal preparation and light housekeeping. So they break down the hours that that client can have in each of those categories. We then hire a home support worker. Blue Cross pays us. We pay the home support worker. So we actually get about $13. Not quite, that's not true. Probably about $11.50 is what we get. Just to cover the admin work, the hiring, all of the HR stuff that has to go with it. So it's not really profit for us, but we do have that as an income, and we're hoping to really build that so that it can be a social enterprise for us. So we're just in the infancy stage of that, but we're working to make it bigger. So, and then you can see that the sponsorship, you know, it's up to us to raise that money. It's Age Friendly's responsibility. So that goes up every year for our responsibility. Grants again. The day program one that we're running right now was $500,000. It was $500,000. So I set a lofty goal that in 2028 and 2029, we're going to be able to achieve that again. Now that might be through multiple grants. It might not just be through one grant, but that's the goal that I set for myself to achieve. The tournament again, we're hoping that we get that up, and then just general fundraising. So we have people that make donations to us through Synovus, and then Synovus matches it, and it might only be $100 at a time. But last year we made, I think, I'm not going to say that because I'm not 100% sure, but it was probably around that $7,000 mark that we brought in. So yeah, so. And then the reason that I put this newspaper in is because on pages 8 and 9, it was just a 2-page spread on where we've come. So Age Friendly is not just Cold Lake anymore. These are the programs that we run. And I think what I really wanted to talk about today, because I did do a presentation to the Seniors Advocacy Committee a few months ago, and they really stressed to me that transportation is an issue here, that seniors are not getting to their appointments, and that it really is a stress for them. I also talked to the site manager, Shelley Franklin at Covenant Health, And she said that a lot of the patients that go to Bonnyville are from Elk Point. So getting that transportation set up for them and getting it set up to go into the city is also, I think, something that they have identified as a priority for the communities. So I thought that's maybe where we could start, or we could have conversation about, you could have conversation about just to see if it's something that is a priority to this council and to this municipality.
Well, I know transportation is definitely a priority. We have actually, previous to your presentation, we've been in communication with the county because we deal a lot with them. And we are in the works of getting, we have a unit in town that has been usable for some groups. We want to expand that use to include transportation for appointments, but it's also not a vehicle that is going to be economically, because it's a 15 passenger, you know, seniors can take it with walkers and wheelchairs and that kind of thing.
Is that the one that stays at the lodge?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we've got the ball in motion to approve that, but we know that is just a stepping stone too. Like down the road, we'll probably need more of a van, a smaller van. But so yeah, no, communication is definitely a priority here.
I know there is a group called Focus that is out of Vermilion.
Yeah.
And not that they're not good, because they are. It's the cost, and it always boils down for seniors to the cost. And I don't know how much they charge for a ride to go to the city. I don't know. But we charge, like I say, $50 for the majority of people, and that's affordable.
Yeah.
That's affordable.
Well, and I think with Focus too, I think it depends, because there's some trips that will be partially covered by other, like whether it's AHS or whoever it is, but yeah, because Focus has come to town here several times. But I wanted to ask you, how do you get your volunteers in a world where people don't want to volunteer?
When it comes to seniors, we don't have a problem. I think right now we have 60. Yeah, so it's now not all of those are drivers. Some of those are navigators, you know, and some of them are event people, but all in total, we have about 60 volunteers. So we advertise on the radio, and we're very fortunate that Bonnie is the sales manager. She has a really fancy name and I never remember it. But she is the sales manager for Stingray Radio, and she gets us a lot of free advertisements. So yeah, so that's always really, really good. They also have a free program on there that I think is called Community Beat, where you can also put things on there for free. We run ads all the time in the Respect newspaper. Yeah, so there's lots of ways that we do it. We do presentations. Like I did a presentation this afternoon at 2:00. A lot of the church members have come on board and are helping out. And so yeah, and we have a really good volunteer coordinator that everybody just loves. So that really helps as well too. Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other questions? It's a lot of information.
I've left out a lot. I can talk to you about
But I do know, I work with seniors and I do know the importance, and it is, yeah, it's.
What we do in Cold Lake is we just give the volunteers $300, and then they have choices. They can take their own car because some people prefer that. We do rental because a lot of people don't want to put the kilometers on their vehicle. And then there's enough for parking and a meal, whether it's there or home or whatever. And if there's a few dollars left, they can put it in their pocket, and that's just fine. So we have had conversation, because everywhere in Bonnyville is so expensive to rent a vehicle. Enterprise doesn't charge kilometers. They just give you a flat fee, and they give us a really good discount. So they have talked to us about staging a car in Bonnyville so that we don't have to worry about it. And I think if we spoke to them, they might even stage a car here. So seniors have found that an SUV is a perfect size for getting in and out of, and easiest for them to get in and out of. Now, we don't do full transfers. just for liability purposes, but we do, if they can get out of the chair and hang on to the door so that we can help guide them in, we will do that. We just can't do a complete transfer. If we had the vehicle to do a complete transfer, but then that's another license, so maybe in growth. Maybe with growth. And then I just put all the cards in here. So this just really tells us all the services that we use, the meals to go. So what can happen right now, and I did bring, so our caregiver support group, we did have people in Bonnyville who were traveling to St. Paul for caregiver support. And now because we're doing it in both Bonnyville and Cold Lake, we do 2 in Cold Lake, 1 in Bonnyville. They're now coming to Bonnyville. So it's just that little bit easier. So I did run off some posters for the programs that people currently right now can participate here from Elk Point. One of them is the caregiver support group. The other one is the frozen meal program because we're already delivering to Bonnyville. So if somebody could, and I know when I spoke with Donna from the Seniors Advocacy Committee, it was kind of suggested that, maybe somebody from Bonnyville could run into Bonnyville, from Elk Point could run into Bonnyville just to pick the meals up. So we're going to deliver every Monday there for anybody who orders. The process that will happen there, again, because we're grant funded, I have to show the stats of people so we will do an intake with them. We may not do the full intake, but enough information that our funder is looking for because we're not doing the friendly visiting of some of the other programs right now. So we will do over the phone an intake to make them a client, and then they can get it at 50% off. So our meals are $12 and $13. They can get them for half price, so $6 or $6.50. And there's enough in there if a senior is a normal senior eater, they can get 2 meals out of that. So these meals are made by a Red Seal chef. So that's nutritionally balanced meals for $3. You can't beat that price. So, and even if they eat the whole thing, I find it hard to eat the whole thing, but even if they ate it, you still can't get a meal for $12 or $6 and have that nutritionally balanced meal. So they should participate in that now if they want to come to Bonnyville to pick them up. And they can come to the caregiver support program, right? These 2 things they can do right away. So I just thought I would leave them here with you and you could put them up or copy them, maybe Kendra, and put them up in some places around town just to let people know. I'll get those to you then.
How does that work is it like we have the Meals on Wheels? Is that similar as a program then? It's a different program altogether?
Yeah. The frozen meal program, you can buy a week's worth, 2 weeks worth, and just keep them in your freezer. So I recommend thawing them first. And I say that and I don't, but I do. But I do recommend thawing them first. But it depends on the meals, like the turkey dinner. It's so much in that meal that it says 8 minutes. 8 minutes doesn't do it, just because the turkey's on top of the potatoes. And so, yeah, it definitely takes about 12 minutes to do. So it's one of those things that you put it in and you just give it a stir and you kind of gauge it. But most of them are 8, 9, 10 minutes. If they're thawed, definitely 8 minutes is more than enough. Yeah. And they're great for caregivers because you've got the caregiver coming home from work after working all day. And then she's running home and making meal for her family. Then she's got to go see mom and dad and make sure that they're taken care of and that no wonder they're exhausted. No wonder. So this way, all she has to do is pop in a microwave meal and within a few minutes it's done and ready and it's less strain and stress on the caregiver and it's great for the senior. So
for now, I guess what is the vision of age friendly for their expansion? If you're in the MD and Bonneville area and you're looking at the county of St. Paul, is there any other municipalities are you looking to reach into as well? Or
we are going to start to look into Athabasca, and we're also going to start to look into what's the other one? Give me a name.
south of us,
We'll try that.
like Vermilion River.
No, not Vermilion. Well, no, not Lloyd Minster either. Oh, I was just there.
Wayne,
Like the Bish.
Okay, so that's correct.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
Yeah.
So, with the programs, especially, will they be more central, like, in Cold Lake, or will they be more, hands-on in our area?
It'll be under the umbrella of Cold Lake, so we're not all competing for same dollars. However, will my travel start to increase? Absolutely, it will. I want to talk to FCSS. I was hoping to get here soon enough to have a quick conversation with them to see about their volunteer program, if they have a volunteer program. I don't know if they do or they don't. And I also want to work closely with the Seniors Advocacy Committee so that we're doing what's right for the community, because not every community or every municipality is going to have the same needs as every community.
For sure.
So it's going to be based on what your needs are, and that's what your money will cover. And then Bonnyville, that's what their money will cover. Cold Lake, that's what their money will cover. So, because eventually we will, I won't say that. I was gonna say eventually, we'll run out of grants. We're not gonna run out of grants, but they could be limited.
I do agree with you, the need is there, and,
Yeah.
and I also agree that people are falling through the system. And
Absolutely.
so it's just, having this in our area would be a great thing. Now just the mind works is how we're gonna integrate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be doubling the efforts in one area and missing totally another area. So that's definitely a conversation in the future we'd have to look at all that for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, and just see what it is that your community needs and wants, for sure. Absolutely. And there's enough resources here. Like I said, SCSS, I worked for SCSS for 8 years. I was the coordinator for the social services. So I know how that works. I know their system really well. And then the Seniors Advocacy Committee again said that not all of them could volunteer, but they would certainly be on a planning committee. They would certainly be open to discussing the needs in the community and how we can go about them, promoting them, getting the word out there. So I don't have to necessarily be here all the time if I have people in the community that are doing some of that advocation. But I'm in Bonnyville. Oh my gosh, I think I'm in Bonnyville at least twice a week now. So my job has changed completely. Completely. I'm more on the road now than I ever was. So.
But beyond the financial investment, if we chose to bring this into town, there would need to be somebody here spearheading, right? And would that look like a volunteer? Would that be a paid position? Would that be somebody in the town? Like what?
All those things need to be worked out.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And how do I see it? I do see a network of volunteers here, but I do see somebody kind of leading that charge. Now, for Bonnyville, I'm leading that charge, but they're only 45 minutes away.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with that. But if I'd have to come here once a week, I come here once a week. So a lot of stuff is done online, which is really nice now between Zoom and Teams and all of that stuff. That it just creates so much more opportunity for connection. And then obviously somebody in the community, now whether that be FCSS might be just as swamped as our FCSS is and don't want to really take a look at this, or they might be really, really willing to say, yeah, this is for our community. Let's get behind this. I don't know the girls that work in there. So, but I do know that the Seniors Advocacy Committee is definitely willing to work with me.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? No? All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. You can leave that one just in case. Thank you. It's a team. It's not me. It's I've got an amazing team and we're knocking it out. I got us. All right. Well, thank you very much. And Kendra, I'll stay. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your meeting. Have a good night.
Yes, thank you. You too. Drive carefully. Awesome. lots of information there. Okay. And I get a motion to approve the delegation.
I can make that motion, you want to?
Favor?
Ready?
See you there, Tim. Okay. And do we have any additions to the agenda?
Amendment for under committee minute and reports. I think we can remove Chamber of Commerce and instead we can do DMO in that.
Okay.
Oh,
New business
New business?
from E. Okay. Any other additions?
We have to add, we have F that's added here, the HERP program.
Yes, the hazard 8F, hazard assistance resilience program. And then legal in session. Everything? Okay, can I get a motion to approve as amended?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? It's carried. Okay, minutes, approval of the June 8th. Any errors or omissions? Okay. Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the minutes? On? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Unfinished business. Resolution number 26-237.
This session.
It's just deferred.
Oh, okay, this is for the
Property we
property we acquired. This is we have, yeah, we did a motion and we need to discuss it closed session.
Okay.
And
I'll make that motion to move to closed session.
Tim? All in favor? Carried. Okay, resolution number 26-99, Regional Fire Area Committee. This
this
for proposal.
we received one quote only. It is within our budgeted amount. It was 800,000 and the proposal was set for 796,000. That's the only quote we received. Maybe
Yeah, I'm basically here just if you guys have any questions on the truck or the quote or the bid.
I only have two questions. One is it going to be red and black like the picture?
Probably not that heavy of a red and black.
Okay,
I had similar concerns.
it's kind of like, oh.
It's pretty sharp, but I don't know exactly color be decided at the pre-construction meeting, I guess, so, but otherwise.
Okay, and then my only other question was, it says that 22 months delivery, so is it 2027 or 2028 that it'll be delivered?
22 months from when we accept the bid. So like we accept it now or like,
So it's 20, so, okay,
2 years almost.
Yeah. okay. Okay,
Was that paid upfront right off or 50%?
usually they'd like to take 10 to 25% down payment and then pay for the chassis as it arrives, and then the remainder upon completion.
We would still have 2 years of monies going back in. We'd still have even more in there. That's good.
Anybody else have any other questions?
And remind me, Bryce, by buying this now, we do save some major costs in the future. If we bought it later, there'd be some major increases because of the emissions on the.
Well, they've already started, because we were a bit behind on that already, so we've actually that's included in that price already, some of the increases on the emissions that we had cut off already. But
There's more.
probably there's more coming, so.
Yeah.
But we're already.
Price of steel ain't going down either, so there's gonna be increases both, so.
Rather get ahead of the increases before our reserve doesn't keep up.
I think when we talked about it, I can't remember what the thousands of dollars we would save, like it was massive amount that we would save on a purchase today versus what we're looking at down the road. So, yeah.
Back then.
Okay. Then RFD is in front of us. Can I get a motion to go with council administration's recommendation?
I can make the motion there, Wanda.
All right, so we will award the Elk Point Fire Department rescue truck replacement to Fort Garry Fire Trucks. All in favor?
See, Bryce. See you Thursday.
Okay. Okay, resolution 26-232 and 26-233. Delegation of age-friendly Old Lake.
As the delegation, yeah. It's a delegation, the council may direct, as direct the administration as this item received as information, the council direct administration to enter into an agreement with the age-friendly Gold Lake regarding senior support in the community. The number 4, the council direct administration to explore the options and that have been provided by the age-friendly Gold Lake and bring back to the future regular meeting. Number 5, the council defer this item to future regular council meeting regarding 2027 budget for further discussion.
So we all know the importance of this. What are our thoughts?
Like I brought up with it, it's the integration that I have some questions about. We are very regionalized with the FCSS and with the seniors living. That would be almost worth the conversation with the other municipal partners to see where they're going with. So we can kind of have a proper plan to help integrate with the systems that we have and that we're making sure that we're covering all the bases. So I'm thinking we directing the administration to have this conversation with other municipalities just so we can be all on the same page. It's a great program. But we want to make sure, that we're not stepping on toes of other organizations as well, right?
Yes, and I agree with what you're saying. We don't want to step on toes, but we can all work together.
Yeah.
I think if we all as a area come together, we can make that program even shine more.
I think we have to really, it's a good program, but then it's figuring out where the 50,000 would come in.
Come from, yeah.
That's,
It's not in our budget.
No,
But I don't think this is something that has to happen immediately. You know, it's going to take time to organize and get everything straightened out. But I think it's maybe something that maybe you know, like you say, reach out to the other municipalities. And when we are, before we know it, it'll be time to be discussing budget. See if this is a path that we want to venture into.
Is this something we wanna take to a regional?
Well, I was gonna say, we do have a regional,
Joint.
yep.
This is not.
Should I ask the question if they were having the presentation with those municipalities
Yeah.
before? Like they got to us, but we don't want to bring, we got to see if the other municipalities had the same presentation.
Yeah,
Right now, the growth plan or whatever that they're talking about though doesn't include St. Paul or the county or whatever. So
But obviously within,
down the road maybe, but
And I agree with what everybody's saying. But, you know, you hear some of the things she's talking about that are so great, but they are very specific to a location.
Hmm.
You know, if I have to come out here, then I'll be out here once a week. Or if we could do this program, but we would have to make this to make it happen. And yeah, we want to do this, but of course, there would be this cloud of volunteers to make it happen. And once you get to that point, you almost say, well, if we're on the burden of getting all the volunteers and stuff, we're basically at square one in some ways. We have the administrative support from it and the experience, which is great. But I don't know if it would be any more feasible than things that have been tried in the past when it's situated a ways away.
well, and a good point that you're bringing up too is that, you know, we've been trying to find Meals on Wheels volunteers and we struggle just to find Meals on Wheels volunteers, let alone
I think it's worth it.
volunteers for everything else. So there's a lot that has to go into it. I mean, it's a great program, but
well, and that's why I asked too, if it was, you know, like how much is volunteer based? Or how much is like, is it gonna fall on administration? Is it gonna, are we gonna have to create a position for another, you know, somebody to kind of spearhead it? Other than the $50,000, is there gonna be more financial contributions that are required? Or is it a lot of volunteers? And I think it's gonna be a little bit of a mix.
Yeah, I think it's a really good program. And I think I would motion for number 4, but I would go into it very sober minded in that it's not going to be work the same here as it did in Cold Lake.
Yeah,
They're drawing.
and she said like it's gonna be fine tuned for each community, because what Cold Lake needs is not gonna be what we need. You know, so. Okay. Any other thoughts?
it's worth keeping the conversation going. So.
I could make a motion for option 4, but administration explore options.
Okay. Anybody else have any other comments regarding? All in favor? Okay, new business. So zoom down there. Uncollectible debts.
We have some uncollectible debt. Mostly they are from the penalty, the oil company, they have process to pay their bill within 90 days and we charge within 30 days. And one of the major one was a payroll error was done in 2025 November, mistakenly paid to someone who is a library person who quit, and the name was similar. Instead of going to the right person, it's going to the wrong person. And this person had a negative balance in their account and we could not recover from there. It was in 2025 November, $1,333.53. And it is not recoverable at all. The other $23.98 is for the penalty, which cannot be recoverable. They pay the original bill amount, but not the penalty.
Okay, because so what, I guess for me, what frustrates me
Mhm.
is we don't. We don't,
I'm just thinking here, so the first one was uncollected debts, is that the same as the waive taxes thing?
no,
Different one?
yeah.
Okay.
We don't waive penalties for our residents. And I guess by us with moving this to uncollectible debts, basically we're waiving the penalty.
It is not tax penalty, it is,
But even if it's somebody's water bill, if somebody has a water bill that they, paid late or for whatever reason, and they come to us saying, we'd like you to waive our penalty, we have not waived that in the past. But this,
We don't want to set that as a precedent.
no. So.
They have do they have an active account that they're still pulling, utilities from us?
Yeah, they are paying only the original amount. They don't pay because their cycle of payment is 90 days. That's how we charge our penalty in 30 days.
That's got to be paid.
I know it's a small amount, but it's,
Yeah.
It is a small amount, but
Yeah.
it's more principle than anything. We've had, residents that have had,
Doesn't take in water?
No, it's for the it's transfer station. Transfer station invoicing. Sewage disposal,
so they're dumping.
dumping, yeah.
They got to clear their account up before they allowed to dump.
is there other options?
We can try you one more time, otherwise this $23 we can go. I don't know, if we go to collection, they will. take that.
It's worth that, but
Probably a letter saying, look, this has been in arrears for a long time and we appreciate it getting cleaned up. Just because their terms are they pay in 90 days. That's not our problem.
Then we can write a letter to them. Okay,
is there a way to stop them from
yeah, we
disposing?
can stop until they pay this one, we can stop them.
And I know that might be a little harsh, a little aggressive, but
But where do they require assistance when they are dumping or when they are doing something, or do they just stop whenever?
I'm not entirely sure what the process is that they are with the sewage disposal. What could do, if that's something you guys wish for us to do, we can just defer this item. And it gives us time to
Get
do
more
what we
information.
need to do on our end.
Because I guess the only reason I'm going down this path is that if we've got administration burning up hours and time for
Yeah.
23, and you have to have a guy stationed out there waiting for somebody to come and dump for $23. I don't think it's wise to do it. I mean, it's not correct, but it's not something where I want to put a lot of manpower to do it. It's not right, but
I would start with a letter. Give them a letter and we want this cleared up. And that's it.
I do believe we have acknowledged them and stating that they haven't paid their penalties. I don't know what's come out of it, but yeah, we can defer this item and then see.
I talked to Jay and see what other options we have
Okay.
to see if there's a opportunity to collect.
Sorry, Captain Downey, just misunderstanding. Is it the 1357 or is it just the 23?
23.98.
So it's not a large amount of money.
Yeah, no, I understand the principle for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to defer
Back on one of the option, yeah.
and
And making two motions then?
For the payroll error.
yeah, so the payroll is very unfortunate too.
They were paid by mistake.
Yeah, it is the similar name. It was very similar name. And they quit that not quit, they fired that person and hire another one, and it went to the first person instead of us, yeah, instead of the second one, the new hire. A very similar name.
And again, there's nothing our options to get that back is.
We tried a lot. It was because she had a negative value in here.
Oh.
And
Mhm.
we cannot recover.
Okay.
And that person was in social assistance.
Mhm.
All right, so we will need two separate motions.
Well, is there any way of I guess not ensuring that we're going through the steps to make sure that doesn't occur again? Like, have we put in place anything to back that? I know sometimes
It is library, and when library fires someone, we need to know.
Mm.
And they don't let us know that is the reason. Maybe we need to communicate more with the library.
I don't want
You would
to,
think
I don't want to
they're
get
firing
too,
somebody that you.
I don't want to get too deep into
Yeah.
where.
Then
Yeah.
we can make them inactive,
Mhm.
so that cannot go through.
Yeah, going
Yeah.
through.
And it was not inactive that time.
Okay. Okay. Can we get a motion to write off the payroll?
I'll make the motion.
In favor? Carried. And then a motion to defer the penalty and administration.
Issue letter.
Wait.
Wayne?
Yeah.
All in favor? Okay, Northern Lights Library System levy.
Here, skip ahead one.
Oh, sorry. Waive of tax penalty.
Okay, that is for the
Law A Fund 3639.
two property in the town area. No, okay. We have one property and for 2025 September penalty was $676.82. In 2026 January, we had $1,060.02. The one property. The other property has, since 2024, we have penalty outstanding. 2024 September, $117. 2025 January, $197. 2025 September, $121. And 2026 January, $217.75. Here.
No, because there's.
Okay, this is, or actually they split that for 2024 penalty applied to 2024 outstanding and applied to 2025 outstanding. That's why it is two, actually, two has to be together. Which is one is $270.75, the other one is $161.07. Altogether, $2,552.63. The second property. The owner has requested penalty to remove.
Okay,
I take it the taxes aren't paid on this.
The taxes are paid, but they're
No.
not paid.
No,
Oh, okay, because he's waiting, or they're waiting.
yeah. To remove that.
To have that done.
Before they pay the taxes.
thus, in the past, we have not waived by these either, so. Something we want to start now?
It is not fair to the other
No, it's not, so.
estates.
See necessarily a reason for the request. I see family crisis, but don't see any.
I make a motion on stay with our policies and we're not allowing.
Are you making a positive motion?
We're gonna have to make also votes and then defeat it.
Yeah, I make a motion, we accept his proposal.
Okay. All in favor? So I have to ask for opposed. Okay, opposed. That is defeated. Okay. Okay, now we're on the Northern Lights Library.
Yeah, Northern Light Library has increased their levy by 0.9%, which is less than 1%. Earlier it was $5.58 per capita. Now it is $5.63. And this is for 2027, and this is not budgeted yet. And when we will budget, we will consider that as a budget. And that is the alternative for the council is they may direct to the administration as they decide, or that this item be received as information.
Because it's a 1.5% levy for the municipality and 0.9 for the library, right?
No. It's the same amount.
We cover both.
We pay
Yeah.
the same amount to the library and other amount to the Northern Library, Northern
Like,
board. This is the library principal portion. And library pay their portion directly to the library. Northern Light Board pay their portion directly to the library.
Okay. Okay. Um. Uses me. Okay, so we know this invoice will come later this year, so we can receive this.
Not this year, next year it will come. This is for 2027 budget.
Because it'll come in December.
December, yeah.
Or December, we usually pay,
Yeah.
that's effect our 20 days.
Yeah.
So make sure it's in our budget.
2027. Even if we pay this year, it will be go prepayments.
Okay. We can get a,
And that was 1.5, right? You said?
Increase.
Yeah, 1.5% increase for the municipality, 0.9% for the library, the board.
okay, so we can receive this as information.
Make the motion.
All in favor? It's carried. Okay, proposed subdivision application.
This is an industrial subdivision application, and they explain it elaborately, she deal with that.
So municipal planning services reached out, they obviously sent a letter to us about the subdivision of lot 25, block 27, plan 1423688. So we're looking to separate the one large lot into two. You can see on page 86, the shape of the subdivision. Do you have any questions on that shape? I know it's not a very usual shape we see. Due to the size of the building on the east side of the lot, this is how it has to be subdivided to follow our land use bylaw. This shop covers more than 60% of the lot. If it was just subdivided as that one lot. So this allows them to have more property to compensate for the shop size. So we have met with MTS. They feel like this is the best shape. And the owner agrees as well. We have talked to Public Works and Jay doesn't have any issues with this shape. I've talked to the fire chief and he is good with the setbacks on the properties. So they're now reaching out to the owners to get their feedback and they want to know our feedback as well. If we are okay with this, if they have any concerns, they're looking for feedback. And also too, just to note, if in the future, the coverage of the lot were to change and you decided to subdivide that south lot off of the east, we still are able to keep lot shape as like all the other ones. So they're still the same. That's why we also kind of went with the shape. But yes.
Keeping kind of the parking lot with the building on the other side.
Yes, no, the size of the shop definitely made it a little tricky.
Fair enough.
Earlier, 3 lots actually joined
Yes.
together, now they are separating into.
Yes, prior to the building of that shop, it was 3 lots, but with the scale of the shop that he built, it needed to be merged. Yeah. That is the history behind that.
I don't think the town has any issues doing that, because if there was any issues, the planner would pick them all.
Yeah.
Yes.
before us.
Yes, that was my thoughts. If nobody above us has issues, then I don't think we're gonna raise flags.
When we found the the solution, they were pretty happy and we were pretty happy, so.
If we need to get a written note from the fire chief, that
I'm not sure. I can ask them if they'd approve it. I
because
can
we need
ask.
to have this record because we are telling that there is no issue.
Okay.
I do have also emails. with
Email,
Bryce that I
okay, okay,
can
that's fine.
share.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If it is email,
Documentation for
Yes.
support, yeah.
Sure.
that's okay, yeah.
Okay. Is somebody comfortable making the motion to support?
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? That's carried. Okay, Hazard Assistance Resilience Program.
Really good.
No, I'm making my check marks too soon.
Sorry.
2026 Alberta Municipalities Convention.
Email letter from AB Muni to letter.
Yeah, that's what we received.
Oh, this is the email we received. AB Muni's fall session from September 23rd to 25th. Council has went in the past. And they need to decide whether what they want this year. This item may be received as information that the council direct administration to submit meeting request from, this is actually, we need to submit an application to meet the Minister of Minister of Affairs in the meeting. Yeah, and the 60% of the meeting time already used. We need to act sooner to book our meeting with the ministers.
With just the one minister, municipal affairs, or is this where you book it?
We should go there. We go every year in the convention, maybe convention. But to get a meeting with the ministers, we need to apply now.
Yeah, but not just for the one minister that we could.
There's a few options, right?
It's all one minister.
This is where they're just reaching out to see if we are interested in Minister
of
Municipal Affairs. They didn't mention any other ministers, but you
Yeah.
know that it's, we can also.
I think his name was
into
there.
that.
Yeah, his name was there too. I saw that. Yeah, in the attachment.
Here.
Yeah, there, Dan Williams, yeah. That's the name of the minister. Minister of Municipal Affairs.
Yeah. Been a long talking with him, so if there's a.
So the deadline to submit is July 13th, if you would like to meet with him.
I think we have conversation, if we're able to get them in front of them, I think we could have a few
They
opportunities.
definitely want to know they want to know 3 things or whatever
Yeah.
you want to talk about. You gotta have that
Before you
before you
submit.
even submit.
And we still have the MCCs that are still ongoing. That's one option.
I think, I think it's worth putting some thought into, but I think, what is it, July 13th, so we'd have a meeting before that?
July.
No.
July 13th is our meeting.
No, July 13th is the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
also.
the meeting would be on during the September 23rd to 25th.
Yes, but we don't have another meeting before July
Yeah,
13th.
that's
So if we don't come up with 3 key points tonight, then we would have to bring form and submit.
Give it a week to think about it.
Yes.
Hear me?
Which three do you want? Okay. So is everybody in favor of attending?
Yes, that was my next question.
I believe that was always our,
Edmonton?
It is in Edmonton.
Yes, because the hotels are booking.
Right.
Some of them are full. There's 4 that are already full. There's 3 left.
But you have available hotel there if you don't find
Anywhere
there.
else.
It's a fair walk, I'm seeing.
I'm pretty sure they still have their shuttle
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
services.
If it's one of the hotels, that's.
Yes, which is nice to have.
Yeah.
As the first option, I don't think it's a good one, but we can. A little bit of a walk to save some money for sure.
Okay, so then can I get a motion to council approve the town of Oak Point attendance?
I can make that motion.
Okay. Jason. So that would be us 5 and then everyone?
Everybody there. And then
Okay, all in favor? It's carried. Then how do you want to word? We can apply for a meeting with the municipal affairs. Do you want to just kind of
you can just,
give us a deadline to come up with some?
you can just make the motion and I give you guys a deadline.
Okay, okay,
I can make that motion.
So the thing that said it changed with that, a whole bunch of ministers. If that comes later, I lean towards a different minister.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tending to agree because we don't really need it.
Municipal affairs, finally, we've got a whole bunch of transportation as well. And me and Ken met transportation.
Health is a big one.
It was good, but it's 10 minutes, they push you out the next guy's way.
Mhm.
So then, okay, I think the last time I planned for you guys to attend before I went on maternity leave, I actually just called their offices directly and started asking questions if they had any open times for us. So I can do that as well, but I will need to know who I'm calling.
Would you guys want to lean towards that way and just look at the ministries and kind of see which one's open instead of doing transportation? Because then we'd have some time.
I think some of the stuff that infrastructure or whatever, like you're talking about power and gas and stuff like that, those kind of, I would move towards.
Either the utility.
That would be a good one to, yeah.
You said health, you wanting to read that?
Well, we're with the doctor recruitment, it's gonna be a big one.
And even with
All the help, yeah.
being there, I know, but
We
if
did
they
have-
were, I would be up for that one because even just the state of our
And
hospital.
the two ministries
Like
dealing with health.
Well, that's-
first term, something like that, didn't we meet, it was NDP. There was a lady there that we all went into, we went and talked with, it was, we went in as a consortium,
Sarah Hoffman was
something like that.
the health minister, yeah.
We went in there
That's
as a
right too, when
consortium.
they were the government.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what we talked about.
It was Kevin from the town, I think, I don't know if St. Paul was in there.
Yeah, there was a bunch of us that remember that. And that wasn't really productive. I kind of remember this said a bunch of stuff.
I think she came here afterwards, didn't she? We met her there and then did she come here? Something like that anyway.
Not there, I don't.
No?
Okay,
But Alberta Health would be a good one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so infrastructure, utilities and health. Yeah,
Let's see what comes out of it.
Those are the three for sure.
I'll start the vote. You guys still want to meet with the minister of municipal affairs?
We will, yes, because we may not get with the others if they're not gonna be there. Okay, so Sean made a motion to meet with the minister. Can I, all in favor?
Right.
Carried. Okay. Now, the hazard assistance resilience program.
Yes, so I have handed you all these forms that we have made for our municipality with the flooding we've had on June 1st. Caused some damage to our residents and a couple infrastructure within the town. The park program was brought to my attention to maybe look into. So then I began to research and made some phone calls. We are meeting with our Northeast Region rep from Lloyd tomorrow. Myself, Mayor and Jay, to go over the application. What infrastructure we can, the damage, any damages that we've had, costs that we've had, can go towards our application. There's no program that has been approved currently. We are in the reporting stage. So, there is a 255,000 threshold that we have to meet that will help us get approved. So I've put posters and where you can collect or come and obtain this form around in 4 places around town. I've had a few people come in and pick them up. I've had 2 people email me already. I went to the insurance registry's office and talked to there, and he had 2 printed off for 2 people he knew were gonna need it. So what they're asking for is to take photos before any repairs been done. Keep all sorts of correspondence with the insurance companies. Any sort of receipts, any sort of expenses that they've had to pay out of pocket to help keep their house from flooding. And they do stress to talk to the insurance provider first to see what coverage they have. Because this does not replace insurance. It helps in places where insurance doesn't cover, or if they've been denied some aspects. And then they've also, so I've created a form for them to fill out that they need to bring back to me for so they can see where we are, where our residents are for expenses, where we are for expenses, for damages, because it hasn't stopped raining. And then once we have an overall number, then they'll go and review our application. We submit an application and they review it. So the 255,000 threshold also is our infrastructure costs, any sort of expenses, and the residents.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, so.
25 houses at $10,000 damages. Easy to find, I think.
We did notify them about our bridge down by the library there. I did tell Jay to look at anything that had been damaged. I know there was some stuff at the blower station. Any work that we've done or like with the highway, with the bridge there, we can also submit that. Any sort of hours that the guys have done for cleaning up debris, stuff like that, we are able to submit to our application. I remember Jay had talked about that culvert that had the major flooding down towards railway. We had talked about if that would be something they would look at as a expense because it is not a cemented culvert. And it has been on the list to be done. But we'll find out more tomorrow at our meeting. So
Is there a deadline on it?
It's just
30 days from the incident. But they're a little lenient. Gonna be really-
It's recurring, so.
Well, and that's the thing too. So anything that comes up from the time of the incident to now still, like if there's any sort of flooding still happening, they want you to report that as well. Like they are just gonna be like, well, it happened from the first to the fourth. Those are the only days you can report still burnt from that. Then residents can report still. Report all the expenses, the costs, everything like that. So
And I'm missing one part, you're doing this and then they're gonna reimburse people?
so
Just wanna know how much damage.
so this is the reporting part. So we're seeing how much damage has been done to our community. If they approve it, the residents can apply for funding. So when I looked online, there's actually 3 attempts that people can do. So if this year we had flooding, next year I'm not even gonna say something happens and it falls under the HARP, they can apply again to receive funding. But every time they apply, the funds go down. They're reduced. So this first application, if they get approved, is 90% funded from the government. 10% has to be funded from the resident. That's the first. The second, it would be 70% from the government and then 30 from the resident. And then the third would be 50-50, and then that's it.
The key is for what's not covered.
Yes, it's.
Yes.
Yes, or if they couldn't afford to have the insurance because we're gonna learn a lot more tomorrow at the meeting and I'll be able to definitely probably explain that.
Well, that is key, because I know a lot of times insurance companies see flooding as a landscaping issue. And sometimes people have been denied because of that. So this could be something that everybody should have in their back pocket, because I know they're still fighting with insurance. So it doesn't look like it's too much of they have these numbers already. So it's just spreading the word, making sure that if we can get this total list, it will help everybody in town.
And ultimately as quickly as possible, because June 1st was the day it all went down. So, as close to the 30th as we could get would be the best. So
The sooner people submit these reports to me, the more it's gonna reflect on our numbers, on the number. So it could be a step closer to us getting accepted, but our application would still have to be reviewed and then they would decide.
And you haven't,
And I think we did post that on.
I posted it on our Facebook, I put it on our website. I went and I put it on the bulletin by the post office. I put it in our front foyer. I put it at the in front of the Guardian and by Oak Point Coffee Club. I was gonna take it to the post. Chris said I could bring whatever I needed there, so I'll probably take the same thing to him. I was thinking maybe just talking to a few places to get the word out there.
Yeah.
And I've been telling.
Rona.
Yeah, that's a good spot, yeah. I've been telling people just to, spread the word. Spread the word if you know somebody who's had flooding and is having a hard time, tell them about the program, call me, tell them whatever. Email, like, they're just, I'm expecting my phone to be ringing. Because there's a lot of people impacted by this, so.
Hopefully the date or the timing is gonna be critical. Make sure that people sending in.
And our rep in this area, she said also too, if we are in need of any sort of, say, if we have another downfall. And Public Works says that we'll be able to take on that water, we can reach out to them for assistance. So like if it's sandbags or anything like that, so there
It looks like this rain here that we just had, it's seeming to keep up, so.
Yes, I did ask Jay today. He said that they are full. They are pumping water right now.
Well, even the, like, I'm worried about the sewage treatment side too.
Well, he mentioned this morning that if it would have continued to rain today, that we would be on notice because it's,
He did, yeah, he did say
Critical,
since
yeah.
we're gonna hopefully get some nice days here this week that we wouldn't have to do a notice on a, usage evaluation.
Well, we're not the only municipality that's going through that same situation, so.
Look at Edmonton, look at Stony Plains, St. Albert, I've seen an update on just how much water they've gotten. And Elk Island Provincial Park has gotten 153 millimeters of rain.
Yeah, 4 inches.
So
153, sorry, that's 6.
that's 14 maybe.
Yeah, 14.
I know my dad said that he got 2 inches out overnight.
Mhm.
I think so.
We also damage in eco center, but
Yeah.
fortunately that will be covered by the insurance.
Crazy.
so do we need a motion?
Just,
For-
oh, yes, we can make a motion to direct us to apply for the program
Okay,
for the flooding.
I can make the motion of
That motion?
our program.
encourage our residents to get in if they can.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor? Are you doing okay?
That's right.
What? Okay. Okay, committee of the whole.
So I guess it's one of those things where I'm just looking for them to have us, I guess, a motion to hold a committee meeting. Of
Yeah.
proper terminology in there would be, or else.
So I did talk to Linda.
Hmm.
She did say July 14th was good, 5 p.m. They have also talked to Lauren at the senior center and we can use the back room.
Okay,
Enough room for all of us. And yeah, no, so we just need a motion approving
attendance or whatever.
or direct administration to set up a committee of the whole meeting on July 14th at 5 p.m. at the senior center.
I'll make that motion of what you said.
I'll write it.
I gotta write it.
Yeah.
I'll send out an email.
Mhm.
It's a Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah.
5 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. All in
The
favor?
one Johnny's coming to?
Yeah, I texted him that was the date, but I'll give him information where. And I think there's 3 from ADCO.
Is this something we want to do regularly, the committee of the whole?
Twice yearly? Yeah, I think as it goes forward, we'll see how many we do, but I think that's the idea, is to try to keep spurring things on, so.
Why do you ask?
Yeah, Tim did.
Made a motion.
Why do you ask? Is there a different procedure?
Well, it's very similar to council meetings. And I just know that the town of St. Paul has a set date, which whether they
Use it or not?
use it or not, they do cancel their meetings, if they don't have anything. I was talking to Morgan and Brianne with the chamber has asked about it. Don't know if it's something we wanna look into having, having it monthly, once a month or something. We can do a rotating economic development, business stakeholders and recreation, and then have something after if there's something, and we can do it at a rotating meeting schedule. Is that something you wanna do?
I can see if there's a good reason you have one, but
Yeah.
just having one to.
Yeah. Which we would, if it came up and we didn't have anything, we would just cancel.
How long do you have to cancel it? How much in advance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could set it up and then you have lots of time to.
Yeah, because that's what Paul does. I've talked to Sarah about it. She's pretty much organizing those. So it's usually, she said, whenever we have, we do it, and then when we don't, we cancel it.
I do feel like doing the first one would be good to then know what we want to do.
Forward, yeah. Get the first one under our belt and we'll
Go from there.
make a plan. Okay, Tim made a motion. All in favor? Very. FCSS support.
So just to highlight, once again, nobody attended the youth council meeting. There's gonna be no events or youth during July and August as the youth coordinator has resigned. So until they find somebody new, there will be nobody setting anything up. Still working with the seniors advocacy committee, and obviously we're kind of connected with aspects of that as well, but good to see that moving along. Again, they're open now Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays in Elk Point. So they haven't seen an overall increase, but they are definitely having people on the off days, so it's spreading it out a little bit, which is good. And of course, we can always see more numbers as well. We have some programs, 5 programs engaging 23 in total. We had mini makers, run, skip, jump, ASQ screening, which didn't have anybody, Mother's Day high tea, varsity program, nobody attended. But yeah, so there won't be anything in July and August. Meals on Wheels, we have 6 people taking part receiving in Elk Point, which I believe is up from what it was. So that's good, but they're always looking for volunteers for that. We had a mental health presentation that was attended by 3 people. Clothing exchange in St. Paul was a big success, apparently. They also, with the Feeding Our Farmers, they engaged 26 farmers in the region. So they picked a few from each different area, and they handed out resources for mental health and gave them an air freshener and gave them a meal. And hopefully it was raining and they were able to actually enjoy it. But apparently it went over very well. And of course, a reminder to nominate farmers for that. They kind of push the idea that, you know, they only have so many resources. They rely on the communities to actually say who could use this. So it's a good thing to keep in mind and maybe mention to people. A lot of things we get are from the previous months or the past tense. But we have it's over. Called out the chili cook-off in EP, and FCSS was very, very humble in their victory. But another thing that came out of it was the Alberta Seniors Benefits, something that helps seniors with things like, so it's not directly, I don't think, with FCSS, but a lot of people don't know that seniors can get help with things like appliance purchases, things like that they can't afford. They mentioned things like fridges and whatnot, and there's a range of things, and there you can access information for it through the FCSS website. So just thought I'd mention that to get a little more awareness, and hopefully people can ask the questions. And
that's where it helps if the seniors actually go into the office and speak to our programmer or direct programmer, I guess here, because she can share that. Some seniors aren't computer savvy. But yeah, if they go in and talk to her, then she can help them to see exactly what they're eligible for and what is out there. So
yeah, so just encourage your family and your friends or
elderly to just go in and see what is available. There's a whole bunch of programs that don't get used because nobody asks.
Perfect. Are you comfortable making your motion to accept your report?
Well, I'm not comfortable with that. Yeah, I can.
All in favor? Yeah. Okay, finances.
We have April 30th finances, financial report submitted. Still no more change, but we identified some of the error last
Okay.
March 1.
Yep.
It is not accommodated yet because Michelle was in leave, and when she
okay.
she has to
Something.
accommodate her other accounts payable things, and she could not make those changes. Still the same remaining with the additional 1 month changes. And there is no change for the green build and Epic financials. The tax trial balance is balanced. Have any other question?
I have a question regarding tax penalties. So line 1-10-511. 10 general revenue.
Yes.
With the year-to-date actual amount, does that change any of our tax auction items, or is that just strictly
No, this
penalties?
is the strictly penalty for the January 1st penalty, which they didn't pay. Whoever has outstanding balance. They have 18%. 18% on the total balance. So that
Okay.
didn't pay.
Okay.
Their penalty.
Anybody else have any questions regarding?
Glad there's no variances, but I know it's the early. Halfway through the year.
And we're doing not too bad. Well, this is April, so. Yeah, we're still budget wise.
I see we have like website expenses, which we actually do program where we have a agreement with the new sub provider, and we have existing provider will be ending this year, this month. I see there is a 212, 253. We overspent. The budget was 1,500, and we spent 2284. Same thing happened for council as well. Budget was 1,400, we spent 2284. That is the reason, but if you want in further details, I can give you more details on that.
Sorry, which one was that?
The negative balance, which is 211, 230
Oh, 211.
and 212, 235.
Okay.
We are over budgeted on those.
That's probably a lot because we're switching
Yes.
the website.
So I see there is also a damage claim. Line number 232, 272. We are over because this is the damage for the electric wire stuff.
Oh, the power line.
Yeah.
Okay.
We, other than $1,000, we recover most of them and it is went into our revenue account. Because with the insurance.
Okay. Okay, no other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the balance sheet, the detailed operating revenue and expenses, operating revenue and expenses, and the trial balance?
I can make the motion.
Please. All in favor? Carried. Any questions regarding the MCC?
That wouldn't relate to our statement on that one. But we should actually have a committee report on that one. Nothing on final financial statement, no.
Can I get a motion to accept the financial statement for Epic?
Make a motion.
All in favor? Great. And MCC financial statement for GBI. All in favor? Here. Okay, committee minutes and reports. Canada Day. Well, we're just over a week away. Posters are out. Ad will be in tomorrow's paper. We printed and folded. I didn't print and fold, it's printed and folded the pamphlets, so we'll be dispersing those around town. I think the biggest thing right now is we are looking for volunteers, and we're wondering, is any part of council able to help with the pancake breakfast? Tim Noble?
I'll be joining.
Will be there too?
That's right. Been doing it every year for the last little while, so I'm used to flipping.
I usually,
You're kind of.
I wave because I usually help out with the parade starting
Yes.
times, so.
Yes.
And are you reaching out to the county as well?
No, well, Shane was at the library meeting, so.
Oh, because the county has cook bodies in there.
They have, yeah.
So.
So I'll check with Shane. And if anybody knows anybody that is willing to help out, we have some events that we need. I don't want to call them supervisors, but just people to watch over. Like we have the Zorb balls that kids play with, and we don't want somebody to overtake and use it. So we have somebody there to kind of monitors how long they're on there. And so we have a few. What's that?
we make people share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the carnies, right? You gotta sit there and your time's up.
So we are looking for volunteers for that. We have Zorb balls, we have we have a smaller version of axe throwing. We have the real axe throwing, but we have a smaller version for the younger kids. And what else did we have? We are looking for people to do traffic control because we are making the parking lot at the arena what is accessible for parking. Because some of it's barricaded off for the food vendors and stuff. We are making that handicap parking. So we are going to have people watching, and on the west side, we're going to have letting people in for vendor parking and volunteer parking. So if you know of anybody that would be willing, I don't know how big the 4-H club is.
No.
Not? Okay. Because we've reached out to the school and we're not having much success, but if you know of somebody personally, please direct them my way. I do have some people that I'm going to reach out to see if we can kind of fill the list, but right now it's a struggle.
Just a reminder to the public, I guess, if you're sitting in and listening or going to be listening in at a later date or something, but these events are put on with the help of volunteers. So please lend your hand, because if it's not done, then we don't have. So
It is going to be a busy time. Tuesday night, we have the soapbox derby, the ball game, and then we have karaoke in the arena. fireworks are 11. There'll be food trucks on site. And then right from 7 in the morning till probably 11 o'clock midnight, probably 11 o'clock. Will be a jam-packed Canada Day. There's a mini market in the arena. Ferguson Flats is hosting a prize bingo. The 2 divas and 1 rant are going to be our MCs for the afternoon. So yeah, we've got 3 different performers, totally different stage performers than we've had in the past. What else is there? I know I'm going to miss something. There's a pierogi supper and a jamboree at the Allied Arts. The river Lions are having their duck race on the river at 2 o'clock, so you can go down to the
Riding Arena is
having a family rodeo. Like, it is a jam-packed day, so there will be programs all over town. Please pick one up. There'll be some available Canada Day as well. And now we just need to hope for good weather. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Face painters.
Yeah, face painters,
All
balloon
kinds of
character, there's all sorts of
Things.
petting zoo.
Aren't you guys having a movie?
Oh, yeah, CSS family movie night. Yeah, hoppers. So, yeah,
And the town's gonna be putting in a float, I believe, again.
I haven't heard otherwise from Public Works, but Jay's on holidays next week, so. So yes, I'm sure, and I did reach out to our volunteer of the year to see if he would do the flag raising. And I have to actually reach out to him to see if he's available, because he did not get back to me yet. Yeah, it's,
And wear them out.
yeah. But yes, because the town has ordered candy. I have been told they've ordered candy, so. Yeah, I think that's all I have for Canada Day. FCSS, we're good. Sean, you wanna, good?
So at a DMO meeting, the main subject we talked about was the destination development firm that we had gotten the presentation from at the DM. So they apparently did a tour around the region. They mostly didn't go anywhere near us. They did visit the salt plant and the Iron Horse Trail. But they're kind of wrapping up their consultation time, and they're going for an actual strategy now, and they're expecting to have that sometime in July. So they're looking at different projects to encourage or developments. And then we talked about Open Farm Day. Apparently, we've almost doubled the host farms involved, which is great. And they're creating a participant map for the website. So you'll be able to go to the website, you'll be able to see where everything is, as well as a schedule of all the events and times and stuff like that. And that's August 15th and 16th. They also talked about, so the website that they're going to be using is the Crew RM, which is kind of their consolidated networking, gather all contacts in one place, gather all the information in one place, update, get rid of old contacts, and just have everything kind of work together a little bit better. And they gave us a little picture of what it'll look like with a contact page, which is relatively efficient, basically what you'd expect. But yeah, you'll be able to search with tags, or you'll be able to search by locale or however you like. So that should help with things. Rest was more structural, talking about how we're going to do certain things with meetings. They also talked about possibly having quarterly in-person meetings at different places in the region. So, you know, a lot of people may or may not be able to attend, but it's nice to have people in person make those actual contacts instead of just seeing a screen once in a while. They were talking about having speakers come in for those events, so that would be quarterly. But of course, there would be budget ramifications for that. You know, if there's a meeting in Lac La Biche, well, there's some travel and some things like that. But it seemed like a lot of people were in favor of trying. It's just a matter of whether you can get everybody in one place at one time, which with a group as big as that, it's no easy challenge. They're bringing back UFO days in St. Paul. Lots of people were excited about that. Of course, heading in the 30s. Old Lake Air Show in Old Lake. Medieval Fair coming in July in Niagarville, which my family will be going to. My kids are very excited.
What do you call it?
Medieval.
There's a medieval fair, so
We've had it
so
for-
they've got actual like jousting, like straight up on horse jousting, combat stuff, and then markets and stuff like that. You can buy a roasted turkey leg. I did that last year. Totally worth
You
the.
dressed up?
We did go dressed up. So, yeah,
A few from the area that go, it sounds like it's quite a thing.
it is pretty good. So that's on the 10th to 12th, I think, of July. And then both Murnum and St. Paul are having their community garage sales on that same weekend of July 11th or 11th and 12th. And that's all I got.
Perfect. Okay, Allied Arts. Well, we had our annual general meeting last week. So our executive had some changes. Romy is still our president. We have a new vice president, Dina. Smith is our vice president. Tracy stayed on as secretary treasurer, didn't change. And then we had some new members come, so we have filled our seats for directors. Overall, the year was okay. We've had some successes. We had some struggles. But yeah, we managed to power through the year anyway. For our regular meeting, Brad was our next event, which was on the weekend. We did have a flooding situation again. And so I think we're going to have to reach out to Public Works. That ditch on the south side of 57th Ave is not doing what it needs to do. And well, part of the problem too is the approach from the riding arena that comes onto 57th is very wide. And so if there's water there, it just comes across the street into the parking lot and goes wherever. So yeah, we may have to have a meeting with Jay just to see what we can do to hopefully deviate any more floods.
Is the plan still to put up a kind of not a foyer, but something off the building? Because I see at the grad, we did some supervision and it was leaking around the doors again as well, so.
Yeah, it just leaks depending on which direction the rainfall's coming in. So yes, if we have access to funding, then we'd like to beautify the front of it so that it doesn't just look like a warehouse. Yeah, until we have means to some money, we're not there yet. But yes,
Sponsorship.
we would be looking for some sponsorship, some grants, whatever. Cause yeah, it has definitely been something we've talked about for a long time. And as well, what else? We have birds in the building every now and again because as people are preparing for farmers market, the doors are left open for extended periods of time. And I think we have the birds out.
Wait, that's not a good thing.
Birds in the building?
It's naturalism.
Well, some people don't like it. And then Ideal Carpets does have to come back and do a few touch-ups. We haven't got word as to when they're gonna come. We had Scott Woods come. I've heard very good things. I was unfortunately not able to attend. But those that went said it was very enjoyable. So there was all sorts of fiddle music and dancing and unfortunately, there was 107 tickets sold, which I was hoping for a little bit more, but overall it was a good performance. Everybody enjoyed it that went. We just have we have a bingo coming up on Wednesday. The farmers market on July 2nd is canceled. And they are finding that the market is a little bit slow. So we have a great number of people that come for lunch, but market support for the vendors does seem to be a little bit slow. And then as far as the invoices or the dinner theater, again, we didn't have all the final numbers in, so it'll be close to see if we broke even or if we maybe showed a little bit of a loss there. They are planning for next spring to do a musical this time. And so they were gonna be doing some casting. And right now they're getting ready for Canada Day because there's a frozen supper from 5 to 7. $10 for a small plate, $15 for a large plate, then the jamboree to follow. There's no admission for the jamboree. Families are welcome, everybody's welcome, so hopefully it's a good night. So I think that's it. Community futures.
Community futures, okay, we had a meeting last week. All I can really report is the lemonade stands across, was a good turnout. I think there were 6 from Elk Point.
There's two.
Agree.
6 from another place, and I think 19 total in the St. Paul Smoky Lake area here. So that was a success. And that's about it.
Evergreens.
Evergreen meeting, I had to leave a little bit early. It had stretched on a little longer than I could stay to the end. The things that we talked about were the new cell. Well, I guess I should start out with, there's the CAO of Paul was stepping down in September. So they're looking for someone to take over. So those interviews were being done this past weekend. So there should be a name coming forward with who that was. I wasn't able to make it on the Saturday with the interviews, but they wanted to try to get someone in place fairly quickly so they'd be able to work with them. So that was going to be done. The new cell construction, the talk about how the new cell would be done, and with the free waters and stuff like that. At the bottom, there was typically there's one suction to suck out of the bottom of the cell, but they wanted 2 so that they could keep up. This year really, it's just like anything else. It really drew to light some of the challenges that we could be having. So there was some design stuff that they were going to add to the new cell so that it's a little bit easier. Talked about the evaporation of the waters, how we could better handle the waters coming off of that. So whether it's an evaporation pond, whether it's disposal, whether it's both, and also trying to get it so that the waters for disposal can be accessed easier with less challenge. So there was a little bit of discussion around that. There was a presentation given about possibilities of the Evergreen partnering with a business to do something different, almost like an MCC or a different opportunity. The board, however, decided that that wasn't the way to go because of some of the implications. One of them being the major one is if we did anything like that and signed over the landfill, then we fall. If we ever wanted to take it over or something decided to change, then we'd have to buy it back. Would we have the money? How would this go? So we just felt that it was a risk that we weren't willing to take at this point in time. So it was defeated as far as, or deferred, or not deferred, but information, I guess, is the way it was passed. So those were the 3 major things that was discussed. After that, it was just some incidentals and whatever that I had missed, but the big ones.
Paul was there a long time, eh?
Yes.
20 years?
Yeah.
25 years?
Within the county and everything else like that, like he had worked for the county and then he took over the Evergreen, but he's, I want to say 17 for sure. And 20 wouldn't be far off. Like, I don't know what his time is with the county, but he's definitely been there a long time. He's going to stay on as a consultant on a consulting basis as needed going after his retirement date to help us out. But yeah, it goes.
Hey, Government Public Library. All right, Sandy was there to do a presentation on behalf of CALP. So she thanked the library board for another past year of partnership. She's worked probably around 250 hours with ESL clients. Some were successful getting their permanent residency. She works approximately 52 hours with literacy, 95 hours with digital services. Some are with seniors, some are not. The fall partnership, she's partnering with legal education. And so they will be coming in once a month. So if anybody has any simple questions, I guess there will be people there available. The story walk was well attended. We had to use umbrellas, but they did get approved for the Canadian Summer Job Grant, so that will help with the summer reading program position. I think the last couple of years they were approved for that. And they are applying for the county gravel levy grant to complete the deck. They want to put some picnic tables and possibly a small shed to store some of their supplies for that outdoor patio area. And again, they were promoting the need for volunteers, helpers, people on setup, cleanup, and probably a good chunk of it is cleanup because everybody seems to scatter afterwards and there's only a couple left helping with cleanup. And then they are going to be reviewing the policy committee regarding unsupervised children in the library, reconsideration of what materials we should or shouldn't have, and then the collection and development policy will be reviewed in the near future. And their book sale was a success. They raised $675. And considering it was rained out on Friday, it was mostly on Saturday during the car show. But it was, rained out on Friday, but Friday was the busier day. And then unfortunately, the yellow shed that they do have there got broke into again. They don't steal the griddle, but they always steal the propane tanks. So there was a little bit of damage done there, so that they've actually purchased a kind of a very heavy duty type lock. So hopefully it's foolproof. And then last night we had a bingo, so that's it for the library. And we didn't put the Monday morning meets with the mayor because the last month there was nobody that came in, so there was nothing to report. Okay, can we get a motion to accept the minutes and reports as presented?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Yep. Okay, correspondence. Just an update regarding the success of the chili cook-off. That's very good. Nice to see lots of people out. Star Summit.
July 15th, 17th. Port Lake.
Recreation and Communications.
It's from Morgan. Which are events.
Was the deadline for the new local link, was that the 19th?
Do you want to say it? She's just, reporting all that she has done with the local link and how much of a turnout it was, and she's currently working on the next edition. She's received positive feedback from everybody and some changes, any sort of criticism is good. We have made a Town of Elk Point, Alberta Recreation and Tourism Facebook group. we did find that since there was so much communication from the recreation park, we found sometimes the posts on our page would get lost. So we decided to make a group. There has been lots of positive feedback on that. Morgan is working hard on it, always approving posts, even at home. And she has a list of upcoming events, and we are working on our website. She's working hard on our new website that's coming up here at the end of the month. So we will have a new website, and hopefully it is user friendly. That was our main. Yes.
Most of the work is done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that needs to be done can be.
Yeah, can be added when we are live.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
June for July 1st, will be a new website, a new look.
Perfect.
We get early access to see it?
Depends if she's done. I think she wanted to change some photos on there. So, but it's the same layout, very similar to St. Paul's. And I think we're gonna have an app for people to download on their phone and be able to access it through there. It's gonna be user friendly for your phone. If you just search it on Google or whatever, it will be user friendly, way more friendlier than our website.
Maybe notification coming in.
Yeah,
Okay.
there'll be notifications sent right
Alright.
to the app, I believe. To show notices on the website a lot better, very user friendly. The company that we went with works with municipalities and their focus is user friendly.
Good.
So yes, go for that.
Perfect. Okay, Emily Scott Sear.
This is the letter for the near flood situation. Provide their the local the recent rainfall and flood situation, and if any concern, we can directly talk to them.
And I did think about responding to the letter, but I think we're just gonna direct administration to
Been in
book
contact.
that meeting with him directly.
So I have been in contact with his office, and it's like July 13th. I'm gonna leave
4:30, I think. We're good as.
4:30, yeah. 4:30 before the council meeting. We will, what I typically book, so if we are. Because then he, 4:30, because he is, busy till after the 27th of July. Booking up fast.
We should have an opportunity to do it face to face.
Yeah.
Did we reach out to him for Benedict?
I don't think we did this year.
Okay.
He wasn't here last year, he was here the year before.
Mhm.
Need to add that to my planning list.
Mhm.
So, okay, so do you want a motion for that now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so can I get a motion to direct council to book said meeting?
I can make them.
I mean, direct administration, not council. There, I caught myself. Nobody else probably even noticed. All in favor? Okay. And then the Dago.
Yeah, letter for the notice of public information session, Highway 28. On June 24th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Smoky Lake Agricultural Society. That's the invitation from Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridor.
Okay. Is anybody interested, before we go in, is anybody interested or thinking they would go?
If we wanted someone to go, I would be willing. No specific to go.
Okay. 2026 Municipal Affairs Grant Allocation.
Yeah, we received a letter from LGFF for 2026 grant allocation. This year, we are receiving 396,615. That's including 42,880 as need-based funding for the capital for our capital projects. This amount is almost $17,000 less than what we received in 2020. The other amount is operating allocation is 116,586, which is exactly the same amount we received in 2025. This is as information.
So overall on that total fee of $396, it's down from last year.
Down from $17,000 from last year. Yes.
Questions or comments? No? Okay, can I get a motion to accept the correspondence A, B, C, E, and F? We made a motion on, Dawn? All in favor? Carried. Okay, acknowledgements. Thank you to the FCSS for hosting a color beads workshop to help youth by creating an engaging opportunity to get creative, develop skills, and engage with others while having fun. Thanks to the Luverne Public Library for hosting another astronomy session with Francois Van Heerden that featured the wonders of the summer nights. These astronomy sessions have been very popular, and I'm sure there will be more to come. Huge shout out to thanks to FCSS for hosting another successful Seniors Week. They provided a light lunch with an afternoon of information to benefit the seniors and allow for some engagement and connection. 5 days and 5 communities. And I know I was out of town. I wasn't able to attend on the Tuesday that they were here. And Uppoint Further Ed hosted a successful community indoor garage sale. People could browse, mingle, and support local vendors and sellers. Heritage Lodge also hosted a successful indoor garage sale and ice cream sale. Although I don't know if we've had ice cream weather. Hopefully their sales went well. Again, where people could treat themselves to an ice cream treat and browse through some treasures with proceeds going to their seniors' activities. On June 5th and 6th, the Luverne Wilson Public Library hosted a successful book sale in addition to the car show event, and thank you to staff and volunteers for preparing it and for all the patrons for supporting it. Congratulations to Nikki Shafford for presenting a wonderful musical performance with her music students at the recital. It shows a great deal of commitment and determination to produce such a successful performance. Thank you to the Christian Community Church for opening their doors and welcoming the event to showcase the talents of the musicians. Congratulations to the Elk Point Allied Arts for putting on another successful theater project, Sweet Surrender. This presentation shows commitment not only from the volunteers to put on the events, but also to the actors that are willing to perform, because without them, it wouldn't happen. It takes hours of volunteer time to produce, practice, and prepare, so thank you. Congratulations to the Elk Point Auto Club for hosting another successful show and shine event. It's probably the one Saturday that we actually had sunshine. This brought visitors to town to showcase their classic and custom vintage vehicles and some newer vehicles as well. This type of event attracts visitors from near and far, and they can explore our community to see what we have to offer. So thank you for that to them. Thank you to the Elk Point Chamber of Commerce for putting on their 3rd annual chili cook-off. They had a great support from the community to show off their talents of cooking chili. There were some pretty amazing tasting chili. And some very creative teams. It was a great afternoon. Again, it takes a lot of volunteers to organize and set up and run for the day. So thank you to the chamber for organizing that. FCSS hosted a Game of Palooza, which brought youth and families together to strengthen our sense of connection. An afternoon of games, lots of fun. So thank you to FCSS for their continued support to our community. Congratulations to the Elk Point Elementary for organizing their outdoor classroom, which encourages beautification of their schoolyard, teaching students to build and prep garden learning areas, and gives them an opportunity to learn, explore, and connect. Thank you to all that were involved with that, parents and staff. Thank you to the Wildflower Way and the Elk Point Coffee Club for partnering once again by providing a conscious, connected breathwork event. This gives people the opportunity to experience mindfulness, relaxation, and connection, and to help improve one's mental health. Thank you to Donna Hodgkinson and Tanya Hicks for hosting a Shop Local event. This was an opportunity for home-based business entrepreneurs, community members to connect and support one another and to see what we have for local products and promote and support Shop Local. The Wildflower Way hosted another Wildflower Sunday, which allowed people time to slow down, reconnect, and build a sense of community. Thank you to the Elk Point Coffee Club for partnering with Wildflower Way with a warm and welcome space to hold the event. Thank you to the Elk Point Riding Arena for hosting a multifamily yard sale. It created a dry, safe place for a community to come together and find some treasures and connect with other community members. Thanks to Jane McNeil and the Town Recreation Coordinator putting on a country picnic in the park. This created an opportunity for family and friends and neighbors to gather for some free activities and cold treats. Thank you to the Town of Elk Point and the Elk Point Co-op for their contributions to this event. Thank you to all of the Allied Arts for all of, and they're all too many. Thank you to the Allied Arts and their volunteers for hosting the Fiddle Country event with Scott Woods. This event showcased musical talent rich in country, bluegrass, western swing, and gospel music. And thank you to the FCSS for hosting the Father's Day event, giving kids an opportunity to make something creative and special for their dads. Father figures are extremely important to children, and this was an opportunity to showcase that. Thank you again to FCSS for their support with this event. Make that a motion to accept.
Well done.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, with that, we have a few items to discuss in closed session. Can I get a motion to go into closed session?
I can make that motion.
9:02.
Favor? 9:02. Okay, welcome back and thank you for your patience. At 9:53, Dwayne made a motion to come out of closed session. And we just have a few motions regarding resolution number 26-237, legal of lot unit 64, plan 0724477. Can I get a motion to a direct administration to enter into contract?
I can make the motion.
Lisa? All in favor? It's carried. And item D regarding personnel, recreation and communications coordinator. Can I get a motion to receive as information?
Can do that.
Tim? All in favor? That is carried. And bylaw 898-24, animal control bylaw, dangerous dogs, sections 21 and 23 of ATIP. Can I get a motion to direct administration to enforce bylaw 898-24 regarding dangerous dogs and seek legal advice if required? Sean? All in favor? That's carried. And item D, legal lot A, plan 3639 TR. Can I get a motion to receive as information?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? That is carried. Thank you, and meeting adjourned at 9:00.